Welcome to the inside of my mind. Don't mind the mess. Ignore that there's like a bunch of homeless people living in here. Where else are they gonna live? See, instead of like physically housing homeless people, what I do is I just imagine a space for them to live in, and I imagine the homeless people. And I get that like it's not the same thing as solving homelessness, but you gotta help in every way you can. Well, anyway, I don't want to talk about homelessness. I just want to talk about sorry to all the homeless people who live in my head who I just said that to. Man, I gotta get better opinions. I need to believe different things. I need to believe in just eating a bunch of food and then dying. It's really all Americans are good for. We just eat a bunch of food and we fucking drop dead. We're all fat. We're all so fat, you've already met me, because I extend outwards in every direction until I meet another American. That's true of most of us. It's really cool. Sorry, that wasn't one of my thoughts. That was one of the homeless people. There's a little bit of crossover. It's a little confusing, but we'll just... If I'm speaking as one of the homeless people, I'll try to give you a heads up. I hope that if it does happen, it's not interpreted as an offensive caricature of a marginalized person in society. I hope that doesn't turn out to be the case. So I'd rather maybe just not talk to them at all, well, then I'm silencing their voices. I can't win. Anyway, this episode is exclusively for people with a learning disability, the learning disability of having to use ChatGPT to do every single thing in their entire lives. I gotta tell you, I think we're like 5 years away from going outside and seeing these people wandering around nude with a barrel strapped to them. And they're like, I forgot to do my daily routine of asking ChatGPT how to put clothes on today, so I ended up in this. It's pretty funny that anybody could have ever ended up in that situation, by the way. It's like, yeah, I got one of those barrels you could just easily strap onto your body in case you run out of clothes. I always keep one in my trunk, just in case. But anyway, if you're one of these people who like don't want to use their brains anymore, then you're listening to the right podcast for multiple reasons. I'm going to teach you how to have a thought. We're going to do it together. And I'll tell you what I usually do. First off, when I sit down and I think, man, I haven't had any new thoughts lately and I have to come up with some new ones, I'll sit and I'll close my eyes. And this is what you should do right now. Close your eyes. And what I want you to do is to imagine the scariest thing in your entire life. Now imagine there's 30, 50, up to 80 of this thing. And if it's like, your father, then picture 80 fathers. If it's like weird or abstract like that, I don't care. Just make it as literal as possible. And then your brain, this is scientifically proven, your brain will scientifically produce a thought. And you just take it from there. You live the rest of your life like thought to thought. For myself, I picture 50 purgatory podcasts all chasing me, my own podcast chasing me. And as soon as I think of that, I think of a new thought, because I have to do that for the podcast, is I have to think of a new thought. I can't just say the same thoughts over and over again. Or they'd offer me a job on right-wing conservative talk radio. No, I gotta do better than that. I gotta talk about... I gotta talk about, like, my butt and stuff, and, just the normal topics that come up. I'm changing my background to an aquarium, or like a fish, because I want to look at a fish instead of what I'm looking at now. Okay? This is the part of the podcast I do every week. Don't come yelling at me saying you don't look for a fish desktop every week. I'm like, yeah, and then I get so mad when people say that, because I say it's like you're not even paying attention. It's like you're not even listening to the segment where I change my background to a fish. Anyway, this segment usually goes on for a while, because it takes me a long time to find the right fish. That's a picture of a cat. What is this website? What's been going on with me is that I was sick, and it's made me very depressed now. I get very depressed after I get sick, and while I'm sick. And that was like a week ago, and I feel like almost completely better, but I can't quite fully get there. So my kind of attitude has been, what's the point of doing anything at all, ever? If you're out here in February, January, you're touching surfaces, you're touching objects, may God have mercy upon your soul. Because I thought I could do it. I thought I could bacteria max this winter without a flu shot. I thought I could get through it. I got taken out. They got me. But I drink a lot of smoothies, and I rewatched the first 2 seasons of White Lotus again. So White Lotus Season 3 comes out this month. This episode brought to you by The White Lotus. Watch it on HBO. It's a show made by a guy who likes for boobs to come out. The White Lotus. Every HBO show is like that. Like, they'll write a scene, and then somebody goes through and adds notes, and they're like, tits here, tits here, tits here, tits here. We don't care what you have to do to the plot to get it to work. We don't care if the name of your show is literally No Naked Tits Ever. I mean, at White Lotus it makes sense because sex is, at least, it's part of the plot. But at the same time, it's like if you added up all the sex scenes and did like a supercut, it'd be so long, you'd be like, wow, I'm spending a lot of time just watching people have simulated sex. What am I doing with my time? I don't know. I don't know the answers, but I'm sure White Lotus Season 3, everyone's going to be wearing a lot of clothes. That's where I'm putting my money. I was thinking of rewatching Girls again. I think Girls is a good show, and I think if you don't understand why, you don't understand anything about anybody. It's weird to me how people are like, oh, I don't relate to these characters, so why would I watch this TV show? Why would I watch this show about these annoying girls? I'm not an annoying girl, but I'm gonna watch Dexter because I'm a fucking murderer. What are you talking about? I think maybe it's because you see something in Hannah Horvath that you don't like about yourself. Maybe that's the whole point of engaging with entertainment. Like, every now and then, Hannah will, like, say something that you relate to, and you're like, oh, I feel like a piece of shit now. I feel like my tits are out right now, you know? But they're not, and I'm a man, so it doesn't matter, it's fine. Have you ever heard anyone say I'm a man in a more masculine way? I don't think I have. If you think that, like, the Keebler elves are more masculine than me, which many have said, then I'll just have you know that you're putting people in boxes. When you should be putting elves in trees, that's where they belong. You don't want them out in the public with the people. You know, they're low T Sigma males. That's what the elves are. You gotta be if you want to be an elf. If you're a female elf, you have to be a wife jack. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I don't want to talk about wife jack, and I don't want to talk about elves. I do want to keep talking about elves. Alright, phone's lighting up. Hello, who is this? You've reached the Purgatory Podcast. Shit.
Heard you talking about elves.
How could you possibly hear me? It's weird that I have this phone line set up, considering this is a recorded podcast, but that doesn't seem to stop people from calling in at extremely opportune moments.
On the topic of the elves, they're all very straight.
Was that an accident, or is it because that's like a hiring policy thing?
We don't do DEI here.
You're really keeping up to date on stuff, huh, Santa? So how was Christmas?
Gotta go.
Alright, you're an asshole. I try to ask him one actually interesting question. What does he do? He takes off. He takes off in his stupid gay little sleigh. I think actually it would be okay if Santa's elves integrated into society. If they shut down the North Pole due to, like, labor violations or something. You could imagine like little North Poles opening up in all the major cities where all the elf immigrants, live together in the elf families. As far as, now I know exactly what you're thinking. As far as procreating with elves, I don't know the science behind it. I'm not really the science guy. Sorry, the phone's ringing again. Hello, is this Santa?
Ho! You can't do that. We can't have it again. Okay, bye.
Oh, my nose is... It's not good. It's never good for me. But what about you? Do you like being sick? Do you enjoy it? I don't know, maybe you're different from me. I don't take anything, that's my problem. I took Dayquil this time because somebody kind of pushed it on me. Get these Dayquil pushers, you know who you are. But it did work for like 3 hours. When you're like, oh, I was so high on a drug called feeling functional and normal. That was too good, I guess. So, can't have that. So back to shit. It's like, how am I this much of a wuss? How did, like, my ancestors go to war? At least being at war would, like, get my mind off of the fact that I'm sick. That's why the Spanish flu spread so much, because everybody was like, oh, I'm at war. I didn't even notice I was shitting my pants the whole time. But yeah, I guess now that I think about it, I don't feel that great. Oh well, I just got shot in the head anyway, so it doesn't matter. The end. A story brought to you by Reality. Reality. It's the only game in town, so kinda gotta stick with it. There's now a tariff on podcasts so that there has to be 25% less content, or I can't make it. I don't know how it works. So I'm gonna fill that block with just noises, just kind of random noises that I can make. Here's just a common bird. Here's an uncommon bird. Oh! So that's... Probably haven't heard that one. It's very uncommon. Thank God. Perfect time to call the phone line. I think technically that would be content, but I'm not going to leave this person hanging. Oh, well, it does happen to be Slurp Von Lipstick, who's not supposed to be on until the next segment. What's the issue?
There's no issue at all. I'm actually driving over right now, and I'm going to be there just right on time. Not too early, not too late. I know I've been weird in the past, but I've decided to become normal because it's been an entire week and nothing weird has happened in my life, and so I'm just a regular Joe now.
Dude, nobody cares. Just come here, read the time.
The way that you treat me, it's almost like you don't even care that I tell the time.
Yeah, that's because I don't care that you do it. I could easily do it. Are you almost at the studio?
I'm literally sitting in the same chair you're sitting in. I'm sitting on you.
Get out of here.
Let me do a time check.
Alright, everybody, here's Slurp on Lipstick. Give it away. Give it up. Give it up. Hello. As I mentioned, nothing going on in my personal life. It's just been kind of normal, just work. Just normal kind of go to bed, nothing, and hope that nothing messed up happens. Like, I don't know, I meet a werewolf or something. Like, that's the kind of thing that happens in my life, even though everybody around me has, like, completely normal lives. So why do I live in some kind of Beetlejuice world? Why are there a different set of rules on me? It drives me to drink. My new hard seltzer, it's time-themed. It's called Slurp Time. Pretty good, right? It makes you sick. It isn't supposed to, but now people are using it like to give like infants if they're choking on something. So that's usually not like a glowing endorsement. Kind of starting to think about this business decision, but I'm not really a business guy. When it comes to numbers, I'm just interested in the time. And the time right now? I'll tell you what time it is. It's too damn early to check the time. Hold your horses there, partner. We can take this one slow. I have all kinds of wisdom to impart to you. If any of my children ever listen to this one day, I'd like to let them know that, yeah, I don't think there's really nothing left for you, so hopefully you don't exist. Sorry if that's offensive. I mean, probably not something I should say to you, but you know what I mean, given the circumstances. I mean, I'm leaving you with nothing. I actually might take some money if you have it. My will was written by, like, an evil lawyer. So if you have any toys, they're gonna take them out of your room. They're gonna bury them with old pops. Because I want all that stuff. Give it to me. So, fatherhood. Anyway, the time? Well, it's only 9:35 p.m. Oh shit, I gotta call my homunculus and tell him that he has to take those ribs out of the freezer. I gotta start defrosting those now. Sorry, can I just call... I gotta make an outgoing call here. Yeah, can you just I know you're really small, and I know that, like, you've only done it one time when you were really mad because you found out they canceled Firefly. You've watched too much TV. You haven't been around long enough to even have gotten to Firefly yet. But can you open the freezer door? I know you can get up there. Push the door open, grab the ribs, take them out, put them on the counter, please. I guess 15% would be a proper tip for doing that. I don't know. 20? Do you want 20%? Well, I don't even know what the original charge is, so how am I calculating this? What do you mean it's subjective? What is it going to cost you to open the freezer, take the meat out, put it on the counter? What would that cost you in terms of labor? That's a little bit steep, especially given our relationship. It almost offends me that you would even say that. Don't make me feel like shit. You're smaller than me. I don't know what you just said. You just sound like a turkey. Look, can you get one of my 7 young identical sons to do it instead? Oh, you saw them on the news and they're still not home? What did the news say? How would they come up with the idea to hold my wife hostage and demand ransom for me so they can give it to the storm god Yahweh? How the fuck would I have figured that out on my own? They don't tell me anything. Well, I guess my life just can't really be normal for too long after all. I guess we all have to face reality. And in the meantime, time marches on, as do I. I've been Slurp Von Lipstick. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Incredible. Anyway, the price of eggs, right? Want to talk about that? Good thing orange juice prices aren't affected because I've been drinking a lot of orange juice. It's the only thing I crave when I get really sick. And my body is sort of like how your girlfriend reacts when, like, your apology to them is not gonna suffice. Your body's like, oh, you've been treating me like shit the last 2 weeks. You think now you're gonna make up for it? You think now's the time to get vitamins involved in our relationship? Don't think so. I know who you are. But no, I'm telling you, I really like OJ. It's good. Anybody says anything about OJ? And I'm talking Simpson, and I'm also talking about the fruit. You gotta come through me first, you understand? OJ Simpson is completely innocent. You know who actually did it? Lena Dunham. You know that woman we all hate? Yeah, definitely her. She made a show that's not about me. She's a piece of fucking shit. By the way, I don't follow sports or anything, but good luck to OJ out there on the field this Sunday. We're all rooting for you, bud. Coming up, we got a segment brought to you by Waldo. You're gonna love this one. So, we got a deal with Waldo. He agreed to hide in my room, and I'll just try to spot him. I mean, I'm in a pretty small room, so it'll be pretty easy to spot him, I assume, but I haven't looked behind me yet. Alright, ready or not, here I come, or what do I say to him? What do you say when you do a Waldo? Okay, he's right there. He's right by the hamper. He's just standing there looking at me dead-eyed. I see you, you fucking creep. Come out. Alright, so what do I win? He doesn't speak. Hey, don't go. Where are you going? Okay, he's using my toilet. He didn't even ask. He didn't say anything. This isn't a good sponsorship for Waldo. What is this? It's just a man who comes to your house and takes a shit. So if you're wondering how I found out about Waldo, I downloaded the Waldo app. You can order Waldo to come to your house. What's insane is that there is surge pricing on Waldo right now, so I paid so much for this. So maybe that's why I'm kind of mad. Yeah, it doesn't help that you didn't close the goddamn bathroom door. You're supposed to be more inconspicuous. What's insane is that, like, a lot of people think Waldo is hiding just because it's a game to him, but he's just trying to avoid having to pay child support. Think about it. The pattern of behavior that Waldo engages in, the way that he presents himself, does this look like a guy who's, like, taking responsibility for his actions in his life? he's got 2 young whippersnappers at home. Wondering where's daddy? It's like, all the books they've written dissecting that very question, kids. All I know is that at one point he was in ancient Egypt. Don't ask me how that works. It's kind of hard to focus on anything knowing that Waldo's using my bathroom right now. This next segment is brought to you by unpasteurized milk. Unpasteurized milk. It's coming to a milk near you. We're going to take the milk that you already pasteurized. We're going to take all the pasture out of it. We like to be sick and we like to die. That doesn't mean we don't have rights. It's kind of cool that, like, Americans are kind of have this weird death wish, and we've kind of accessorized the death wish now. Now it's like, oh, now we have death milk. This matches my lifestyle of somebody who's trying to kill themselves, but slowly. All that stuff I said about fat Americans earlier, it's not true. Because I'm not fat. I'm fat on the inside. I can eat a fat guy amount of food and not be a fat guy. It's like kind of... for some reason, all of my attribute points went into metabolism, and not much was left over. Like, I eat something, and then my body is like, we'll just get rid of this. I'm like, why can't you let me enjoy it? Why are you taking it away from me so fast? Why don't you let me be a fat guy for a little bit? I don't know. I guess you just gotta be what you're born as. I guess that's the Trump administration 2.0 like slogan. It's like, you're just what you are, and that's it. What an inspiring message. You're just what you are. Waldo cooking up sounds like he's cooking up a 6-course meal in reverse in there. Wow, it must be really brutal. I mean, I think he's dead. But yeah, this has been the Purgatory Podcast. Congratulations to the winner of the Super Bowl, whoever they may be. Whether it's Philadelphia Eagles or the Galactic Empire, whatever the teams are. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.